Good morning, Dan and Amy, and this op-ed over the weekend at the Federalist, Federalist.com. Houston Loper is the owner of HL Catering in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's a open letter to Congress as from a small business owner. Here's what my business needs to survive, and he's, I think, spot on. We talked about it last week, and it'd be nice if the lawyers and permanent politicians in D.C. would listen to people who actually have to meet a bottom line every single day in a way that they do not. Loper writes in his piece, the goal should be to keep as many people employed and businesses running as possible. This payout decision would cause businesses to close, the approach that is being bandied about, and people to be employed and relying on government assistance. If the government helped small businesses first, fewer people would be out of work, which is exactly what we were arguing for last week. Forget the $300 billion in low-interest loans, particularly to service sector businesses that can't recoup the businesses they're losing. Why would I go in debt to make payroll? Why don't I just furlough or lay off employees and have the state take care of them? But then how do I restart my business? So you're going to the front end propping up of employment and small businesses by directly interceding to help them cover payroll and keep employees on the payroll is a lot cheaper than what the back end expense would be. And that's, I think, Mr. Loper's point, generally speaking. For more on this, we're pleased to be joined by the author and the owner of HL Catering in Raleigh, North Carolina, Houston Loper. Thanks for joining us so much. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Dan and Amy. I really appreciate y'all having me on there and give me a voice. I feel like I've been just screaming into the wind, trying to get people to listen, mostly get Congress to listen. I run a catering company, and myself and my team, we have to make decisions quickly and efficiently and the best. I woke up last week to hearing the news of the things that Congress was trying to plan to help business, from relieving student loan debt to some of the other issues. And those things are not things that are going to help my business or help other small businesses.
How many people are on your payroll, and are they going to get paid next Friday, or is it this coming Friday?
So we have 7 people on our full-time payroll, and then we also have a part-time staff. And luckily, our part-time staff is made up of teachers and people that are in other jobs, and for the most part, they're all got some, for the time being, still have their jobs. But our full-time staff and our hourly staff that works every day in the actual business, yes, they are all getting their paycheck next week. My wife and I we don't see another way through this if we don't keep our teams intact. Our teams are what build our business. My name might be on the business, but I have a very small role in it. It's the people within it that do it, and they're hurting. I've gotten emails from people around the country, and I was going to try not to get upset during this. It's been a tough couple of weeks, but there's people around the country that are trying to run their businesses, and they had their business just completely stopped by the government. I mean, 2 weeks ago, we had this thriving business that was doing amazing. Yeah. And this is unbelievable. We're adding more people. We're doing all these great events, and then it started coming down, all the things, and they started, one by one. The next event I canceled. The next event I canceled. The next one, and nobody knows when it's going to stop. And if we want to restart what we've got in this country, we've seen that, letting the market run free, what happens? We can succeed. We can succeed as a group, but with what's going on now, it's unbelievable. And to think about letting the people within my personal team go and then trying to restart 3 or 4 or 5 months from now, is an awful decision because, you know, by human nature, if I let people go, they're great, but they're going to resent me and resent the business for doing that. And because they've got to go home and then figure out how they're going to pay their car payment,
Yeah.
pay their rent, pay their mortgage,
Well,
all
eat
of
food.
and food. Yeah, I've got a guy, one of our chefs has had a baby and bought a minivan and has to pay his mortgage, and they're just not listening because it doesn't matter in Congress. They're going to get their $774,000 no matter what we do. You know, they're going to get their health care. They're going to get all of those things no matter what we do. And it's sick.
Well, here's the thing, and you're putting a exclamation point on it. I don't think there's an appreciation for just how narrow the window is before businesses like yours disappear. And I thought in addition to the recommendations you have, which I want to get to, I just want you to explain that. The idea that you can have these businesses go without revenue for weeks or months on end is a fantasy.
Yeah, Dan, it's unbelievable. You know, in our business, we can compare for all kinds of different things. We can take out insurance for a tornado or a hurricane or fire or whatever might happen in a business. We can take out key man insurance if somebody has a heart attack, but we can't for this. And we can only save so much in our business and run so lean. I learned that from 2008 and 2009. I went through that and I completely lost the business. I lost everything. And since then I've rebuilt, and you know, and it's taken a long time to be able to do that, and it's finally come together. And it's just amazing that you know, that they think that, you know, the revenue coming in, it doesn't just go to the owner of the business. It goes to all the employees. It goes to my linen guy that comes in the door that then takes that check back, and they pay for their trucks and all their other stuff. I mean, you know, it's simple. You know, it's very simple.
Well,
I know I'm not an economist. I don't have a big degree, and I know there's probably somebody out there probably screaming right now, going, "This guy's an idiot." But
no, I don't think so. I don't think so. And I'll tell you, and they won't think so when you recount the ideas you put into your piece at thefederalist.com too, which are practical, sensible thoughts about how you can get cash to businesses to keep them afloat and to keep their employees employed, and that's the goal here. So you've got the goal right, and you got some ideas in advance of that goal. So share them.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a simple plan. My wife and I threw it together in 30 minutes. What you probably don't know about me, Dan, is I'm dyslexic. I can barely write. That's one of the great things about America. I've been able to build a business, and I can barely read and write, but I can talk. And so when I wrote the letter, it was my wife and I in the kitchen, and we started hammering this letter out, and it was the only thing that could make us feel a little bit better. And when we started hammering it out, it's simple. We pay payroll every 2 weeks. The government already knows what we're paying in payroll because, gosh, they're taking our payroll taxes out and making sure they get that cut. And so they already have a record of what we're paying and how many people we're paying. They can take a snapshot from our last payroll and know that. And they can do that for any business that's operating legally in the way they should. And then from there, we pay unemployment insurance. And so take funds from there, and let's use those first, and then from there fund the rest of it. But then that money goes directly to the employees infected, directly to the people that have been let go. Instead of just sending money all over the country, some of these people still have their jobs. My wife is an example of that. She has a job. So I run the catering company. She has a job with another business, and she still has her job, and she's teleworking and doing all of those things. And so she doesn't need a check. You know, I'm very lucky that she has another job.
And the other thing on this too, and you point this out, which is a point that we've made on this show too. This is your from your piece. Many small businesses do not have the bandwidth, team of lawyers, nor time to file for and wait for an SBA loan. They need the funds as quickly as possible. I don't understand why that is so difficult to comprehend with respect to these policymakers, because that seems to me the crux of the issue. All this talk, and we have it at the state level too here in Illinois, to SBA loans, and we've created this low interest loan fund. First of all, why am I going to go into debt to pay payroll, like I said at the outset? Secondly, there's a time crunch here, folks. These businesses go away by the time you get around to paperwork and the approval and the check being cut. Everybody's gone, and you can't recreate it with the flip of a switch.
Well, Dan, I mean, you said it right there. You can't recreate it because it's taking time to create it in the first place, to find these people and to cultivate them and to make them into the teams that you have there. And I watch the news and I watch them talking about trying to pass stuff, and they talk about Americans and they talk about citizens. Well, those are the people that are in the business. Our business is made up of people that are different races, different backgrounds, different religions, different everything, and it's just not. It's time for them to act and really put their money where their mouth is on helping real people. And I don't know. I can't for the life of me figure out why they don't do it. Besides, they just don't care. So.
Well, Houston, I'm glad you and your wife put your thoughts on paper, because this will be. There's a lot of small businesses around the country, and certainly in Chicago Metro, that are thinking the same thing and saying amen as they're listening to you. So we appreciate you coming on the show. Appreciate this piece that you and your wife penned, and good luck to you and your business, your employees down there in Raleigh, North Carolina. Houston Loper, owner of HL Catering in Raleigh, North Carolina. Thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank y'all.
Houston, you're definitely in our prayers. So thank you for sharing your story. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.